Megyn Kelly sat down with Anderson Cooper, and she spoke about what happened with Trump behind the scenes during the primaries. Let's watch.
You say in the book that he threatened you.
He did. So he was very angry that I'd aired that segment. And, I said, look, I did you a favor. Nobody was even telling the other side of that. They were just accepting this as a relevant story. He didn't see it that way. And ultimately, I said, look, Mr. Trump, you don't control the editorial in the Kelly file. And that was it. He said, that's it. You're a disgrace. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. And then he said, oh, I almost unleashed my beautiful Twitter account against you, and I still may.
Damn. Now, here's why this story is important. What do you think that guy will do when he's president of the United States of America? And he has so much power. Now, I mean, we did the segment the other day. I lashed out at Obama because Obama is handing over to Donald Trump just an immense amount of power that's been expanded under his administration. George W. Bush started it all, passed it off to Obama, and he beefed it up. So I'm talking specifically about NSA spying. I mean, President Trump has the ability to spy on anybody. The massive amount of everybody's metadata is being collected and stored. And, warrantless spying. You got the rubber stamp FSA court, the FISA court, Free Syrian Army Court. That's funny. FISA court, not FSA court. There's no Fourth Amendment protection from unreasonable search and seizure anymore. It's gone. It just doesn't exist. And now we're handing that over to Donald Trump, who has a track record of being petty and vindictive and wanting revenge and retribution against people and having an enemies list. That was a story that, the other week. Omarosa came out and was like, yeah, no, he literally has an enemies list. So what is that guy going to do now that he's going to be president of the United States of America? I mean, you see how he acted when Megyn Kelly's doing her job. She's a journalist. Her job is to report the news. She's like, yeah, I'm reporting the news, and there's some unflattering stuff about you in the news. He got in contact with her, and he's like, don't do it. Okay, first of all, no, you can't. Even if when you're running to be president, you shouldn't do that or have the authority to do that. When you're president, you obviously shouldn't and can't and don't have the authority to do that. But he doesn't care. So it doesn't matter to him that there's separation of powers and we have a free press and free expression in the First Amendment and the Constitution. It doesn't matter to him. So he's calling her and threatening her and saying, well, look, maybe I make life a living hell for you. But even that, so that's a lower level of an offense, because one could argue, hey, that's just him fighting back because he's just going to tweet about her. Who cares? But she goes on to say, I got death threats as a result of that. Oh, God. She needed extra security because there were so many death threats coming from Trump people. I mean, that's insanity. But the bigger point is, it's not just about a Twitter account when he's president. Then he can use other avenues, and he has other ways to attack this, including the NSA. Sean Hannity floated the other day, like, yeah, he should revoke the press credentials of CNN and New York Times and other outlets that he doesn't like. It's like the second they get power, they're like, Constitution, First Amendment, forget all that. And yes, I think he is going to take it way further than Obama ever did. But that's why I lashed out at Obama and liberals who were loyalists to the Democratic Party, because the argument was, and it always has been, you might be fine with Obama having these expansive powers and the ability to kill people with drones without declaring war in the countries that he's bombing and, even taking out U.S. citizens with drones. You might trust Obama with that authority. Do you trust, maybe President Chris Christie with that authority? Do you trust President Donald frickin' Trump with that authority? And the answer is always from those Democratic loyalists, of course not. Well, then you have to stand up and fight that authority now, because no president should have that authority. They're like, no, but I trust Obama with it. It's scary, man. These are scary times. And he's gonna crack down on people who say bad things about him. And it's just a matter of how far he takes it and how far he goes and where we draw the line. But I think he has no respect for separation of powers. And I think that definitely the Republican Party is just going to bow. They're going to say, yes, sir, whatever you want, because they bowed under Bush. The Democrats bowed under Obama. But it's just a matter of how many of them will bow and how much will Trump get away with. And I fear the answer is a lot.